Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to another Access 72 video. Pleasure to be joined as always by Dave Coldwell. Like I say, it's a little while since I had a catch up with you, and how's things been? It seems like you've been getting around a lot.
Yeah, things are good, mate. I'm enjoying what I do in the gym. Life's pretty good, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show. I think it's going to be an absolute belter.
It is indeed, and I suppose get straight into it. Weigh-in day today was a fiery weigh-in. What did you make of all the kind of action?
I loved it. Listen, I'm when I ain't got a fighter on, I'm just a fan, and so as fans, I want to see needle. I want to see back and forth, and I think we got plenty of that. I was impressed with Ryan Walsh at the press conference yesterday, and then today you just see he's got that old school inner confidence, from what he's achieved, what he's done, the real fights that he's had throughout his career. And although he's 38 now, and you get fighters that pretend they show confidence that's not really there when they get to that age, because they know in training preparation not gone that great, legs feel a little bit this or injuries and things like that. He was very, very confident, but it came across as 100% genuine. I had a chat with him afterwards up for DAZN, and yeah, he's got that inner confidence. So I can take from that as though he feels really well in himself. Perhaps doesn't feel 38 years old, and I think that helps when you look after yourself all the time. And he's not one that's, you look at and he, in between fights he's ballooned up and things. He's always been in shape. I think that helps you a hell of a lot. So I'm looking forward to that fight. Real banana skin for Reece Mould. Reece Mould's a very good fighter, coming for the knockout, but that could if as the rounds go on, if he doesn't get it, and if he keeps getting peppered or caught by Ryan, that could get him more tense and make him make more mistakes. I just think it's a really good fight.
And I suppose when fighters talk about perhaps having a second prime a bit later on in their careers, do you believe that is possible, or is it just a saying?
It depends on the individual. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Of course, and obviously, like I say, it's a huge event. And do you believe that every GBM show is improving a lot? And do you think they are coming on leaps and bounds?
Yeah, I think you only have to look. I mean, I came at the press conference yesterday, and just little things like, normally press conference everybody's on the same line, and you're kind of like arguing like back and forth like that. The tables were at an angle yesterday, so the fighters are actually facing each other, and as they're talking, they're looking at each other in the eye, and that can lead to a little bit of needle, and it did do, and I like that. It was, like I said, it was something a little bit different. Even down to the weigh-in today, and on the graphics there, the way it comes up in front of you like that, it's good, it's pretty cool. Just little details. But more importantly, the fights, the shows, they're not on a massive budget yet. Hopefully they get more lucrative budgets, and the fights become bigger and bigger. But with the budget that they're operating at, and the level that they're doing, they're great shows, really good shows, and most importantly, they're on paper they're all entertaining fights. You look at the main fights, but then look on the undercard, and you look at Huey Fury. The fellow that's fighting him, Christian Ton, he's bigger, he's got a good knockout ratio. He's whereas a promoter brings a fighter in on a certain day, close fight, he's come weeks in advance. He's paid out of his own money. He's come weeks in advance, support himself, flights, accommodation, food. So he's not come just to go the distance or get through the fight, or he's come to try and win. That's what you want to see. Max Hughes' opponent, very, very confident. He's had a couple of upset wins before in his career, in fantastic shape, and he's talking about his next fight. He's wanting the winner of Reece Mould and Ryan Walsh. These people that are coming to win, that's what I want to see.
Of course, and I asked Ryan Walsh this question. Obviously, he's been around in boxing for a long time, and I'm, not to say age or anything like that, but of course you've been around for a while with that now. But I asked him, how do you think boxing's kind of changed throughout time? And of course, like organisations like GBM are now about and things like that. But how do you think it's changed?
Oh, so ups and downs. So you have waves of talent, waves of superstars. One generation goes, the next one. You're looking around and thinking, who's going to fill their void? Somebody always does. Somebody always does. we went through a phase where, you know, Matchroom with Sky brought boxing to another level. You know, arena shows packed out all the time. Then that started going away. Now, you know, from being seemingly dormant for a long time, Frank Warren and Queensberry, they've been spending years just developing fighters, and now you're seeing the fruition of that, where their fighters are you know, domestically have taken over. Boxing works in waves, and you look at GBM now, and they're you know, they're trying to do what they're trying to do it in their own way, but they're trying to gate crash the scene, you know, and they're doing all the right things. You cannot but support it, and hopefully, you know, they make the progression. Boxing is always going to be an entertaining, exciting sport if you get the mixture right, and that's quality of fights and characters and good promotion. You know, people got to understand, they've got to know that there's a fight happening in town. People got to know that you know, there's a fight coming on the channel. Otherwise, you can have a TV deal and nobody knows the fight is on. You know, and you just stumble on it or you miss it. If you take care of all that, you know, tick all the boxes, then you've got every chance. And you need a little bit of luck along the way as well.
And of course, you did name kind of all the big promoters there, and somebody else who also did that yesterday was Chris Eubank Jr. And you know, I don't know if you wanted to say too much on it, but he had a lot to say. And what was your opinions on that?
I thought, listen, I'm a neutral. I'm sat there. I was like, wow, what? I couldn't believe it. But I knew what was coming. I knew a retraction was going to come, because it doesn't matter how much money you've got. You don't want to lose it all in a courtroom, you know, or on the steps having to settle. So, you know, the things that he said there, people that have, you know, he's worked with, he's I don't know the ins and outs of his career. All I know that he's done really, really well out of the career for the wins that he's had and for the successes that he's had in the sport. He's done really, really well. So I think it was a move to make himself more relevant on a card that is way down on the undercard, and get everybody talking, which is what he's a master at. He's brilliant at it, but he got put back in his box and he had to retract it.
How difficult do you think it is when you are the son of a legend like he is? Of course, he's kind of made a name for himself outside, but certain fighters like Sami Hamid is coming up and trying to make a name for himself. How difficult do you think that can be?
Immensely difficult. The pressures, the expectations, you know, it's hard to deal with. Fair play to Eubank Jr., to Conor Ben, you know, Sammy's doing it, Adam Ahmed's doing it. You know, I'll always want the sons or even siblings, you know, with siblings with Matthew Atton and you know, as being Ricky's brother, I would always want them to get a fair crack of the whip and to do well. It's easier in one respect because they can use the family name for the leg up, so they bypass all the, you know, all the nitty gritty part of boxing and having to fight their way through. They're put on a platform. You know, they're paid good money straight away. They've got hand-picked opponents straight away, so they get that side easy. But the pressures and the mental sort of and the abuse they get as well, that's difficult, and that you've got to give them credit for that. And I take my hat off to anybody that puts themselves in that position. But then once you're in that position and you are benefiting from it, it doesn't give you an excuse to be a dick. I'm not naming who he is, who I think is a dick, but there are certain, you know, sons of you know, legends that do come across as dicks at times. You know, you've got to remember that you need to still respect every other fighter that's fighting their way through, because you did get a leg up.
Of course, and I did want to touch upon your gym yourself, and I suppose how's that been progressing, and is it nice to see people like Stephen Cairns getting put on big platforms now?
Yeah, because he deserves it. So he's another one. You know, he's had, I think he's 9-0 now. He's boxed in Spain, Denmark, Uzbekistan. Where else we've been? Ireland. Yeah, he's boxed all over the place already. It's a great experience for him. and now he's with Queensberry. His fights are getting televised. He's had two. He's impressed in two. Showed two different ways. You know, gone out, had a quick knockout, and then showed his abilities and his IQ in a points win. I think he's one of the outstanding prospects in the lightweight division. You know, he is. Everybody that sparred with him will tell you the same. You know, he is quality. He gets the whole social media side of things. He's very good on that. He's very good at marketing himself. I just want him to be active. I just want him to be backed. And in 12 months' time, the public are really going to get behind him, because you know there's certain prospects out there that are getting the hype right now. And I've always said to him, I don't care. Let's develop. They're getting the hype right now, and people are talking about it. And Stephen's name's not being mentioned as much. It doesn't matter. He's a baby. But he's going to come through, and he's going to be a problem in that division.
And a name like Kobe Price as well, somebody who's not really been fighting too much. What's going on with him?
He did his hand. He's had to have the bone graft from the hip, which is a bad injury, and then the hip took a while to heal in terms of caused a lot of stiffness, and with his style, that was a big problem. So then it caused an issue with the ankle. And it's just a case of now, this week, he starts getting that mobility back. So fingers crossed he gets out before the end of the year. It's been an absolute nightmare for him, but he's still in the gym, he's still working hard, he's still focused. It's just time. Luckily he's young, so get these issues out of the way now. It's just a horrific injury, and it's just been one of those where the knock-on effects have been a nightmare. His brother has got his second fight coming up. He was very impressive on his debut with Ellis Price. He's another one. I'm telling you, he is talented, very, very talented, great IQ. I'm really excited about him. He's going to be a really, really good fighter. Dan Towers looking fantastic. He's just getting better week on, week out. He's on October 25th, same as Ellis, on the Wasserman Bolton show. And we've got Lerone Richards back as well. So yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying the work. I've got a great bunch of lads. Yeah, I think I'm happy. I think I've got room for one more fighter, and that's it. I've always said like five fighters will do me, maybe six, but yeah, one more fighter and then I'm done.
Dave, it's always a pleasure to speak to you. You always speak about your fighters so highly and give great insights as well. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Good to speak to you.